Hi, I'm Lisa. This is day 31, and the topic for today is living in trust and abundance. And today I wanted to talk about the fear of money, which is a fear I had for many years. And as a result, I had very little money. And for me, it came from the belief that I was alone. And I thought I had to do everything by myself. And even when I had money, I was still in fear of money, of losing it, of not having enough. And what I love about A Course in Miracles and my own practice is everything that seemed to happen to me, every difficulty, every problem, I knew that I was the cause of it. And that's what happened for me. I came to this place when I said, okay, I see that I'm living in lack and I'm living without God, and I want this to be healed. And what was happening at that time was I had heard this idea called tithing at our Unity Church. I'd never heard of it before. And what it is, it's the acknowledgement that God is your source and all money comes from God, everything comes from God, and that you're going to stay in the flow. And that you give 10% of the first money that comes in to whoever's inspiring you, whoever's feeding you spiritually. And I thought, oh my God, I don't have enough money to give. And I realized, no, I want this belief in lack to be completely healed in me. And I had to begin living in trust. And this was part of this experiment that I did, where I stepped in fully and I said, okay, God is my source and my life is His. And I want to release the past. At the time, I had no money, no job, and about 10 years worth of credit card debt that has been following me around. I'd stopped paying my bills years earlier. And what I was doing was I was using spiritual sentences to deny the debt. And that wasn't working. I would say there is no world. And the debt just kept growing. And finally I said, okay, I really need to look at this belief in lack directly. And I just said, okay, that's it. I'm stepping in. I have a very rich Father. I am His child. I trust in Him. I trust in this message. And I'm living in a new way from now on. And I made a decision that I was going to begin tithing. And every money that came in, I would acknowledge that it came from God. And I also made a decision that I was going to pay that credit card debt. And I didn't know how. I just did not know how, but I said yes, that this is the place where I'm going to live the message. I'm not going to think about it anymore, and I'm not going to wish that this debt goes away. Because the debt's only showing me a block in me. And what A Course in Miracles says is that abundance is the natural result of choosing to follow Him. I love that. And I wasn't following Christ. I was living by myself in fear, alone. And so it all came together. It all just came to this place where I said, my life belongs to God. I have a guide. I'm listening. I'm releasing the past. I'm looking at the blocks and the obstacles that are in me. And I have a willingness now to allow myself to see everything differently. And when I made that decision to pay the debt, a tremendous amount of anger came up in me. Because I thought, I don't even owe this money anymore. This is all late fees and, credit card charges from the company. And I thought, okay, wow. That's the anger that's been buried there. That's running the show, and that's the thing I wanted to release. So it actually had nothing to do with the debt anymore. And I called all my credit card companies, and I said, hi, I'm Lisa Natoli. Here's my address. Here's my new email. Here's my phone number. I'd been out of contact with all of these companies for years. I said, I don't know how I'm going to pay it, but I'm going to pay it. And I just began to live in trust. And what happened is money began to come to me. And I tithed on the first 10%, always. That was the first thing. And what I noticed, I really was living in lack. It didn't matter how much money came to me. It was never enough. And Somebody might give me $100, which was a tremendous amount of money to me at that time. And I would say it's not enough. It's not enough to pay my rent. It's not enough to cover all my bills. And when I chose to live in abundance, if a quarter came to me, a coin, I would get so excited. I would see the abundance in it. I would say, it came from God. Everything comes from God. And I would just do the math on it. What I did was I kept a little box and I put little slips of paper in it. When money would come in, I would write down the 10%, put it in the box. And at the end of the week, I would take that money and give it to someone, give it to our Unity Church, or give it to someone who was inspiring me and really helping me to remember the truth of what I am. And then I took the next 10% or 20% and started to pay off the credit card debt. And I paid off that debt in 9 months. And I released the fear around money. And what happens is that you begin to receive divine ideas. You've been receiving them all along, but when the fear's there, you can't see it or hear it. And I started to move in this direction. Bill and I had this idea to start the Teachers of God Foundation, and we just took a step. We said, okay, we're going to move forward in trust, and we know that whatever we need will come to us with no effort. We don't have to make anything work anymore. And all you're doing is allowing yourself to remove any blocks and obstacles. And so I ask for you to live in this way now. And it's been incredible because I'm not afraid of money anymore. And I just am a giver. I give. I don't have to hold on to the money because I know there's always more right behind it. And it's a big storehouse. And we're asked to give God's gifts, to share his gifts. And so today I just want you to look at any fear around money that you have. And I want you to see if it's connected to you doing things by yourself. Are you trusting in God? And this is a step in faith because we're not used to living this way. We think like, I need to pay the bills and I need to make money. And we're living in a new way where we've given our lives to God so that his love and his light and his joy can flow into this world. And once you've accepted his purpose as the only purpose that you would fulfill, everything you need for the accomplishment of that will be given to you. And so we're now making this decision to live in trust and in abundance and choosing to follow Christ. And the natural result of that is abundance. And so I thank you. We're in 10 days. We're just playing a happy game and acknowledging that God is our source. And you can trust. You absolutely can trust and live in this way. And I always say money falls from the sky. That's how I started to live. Money just falls from the sky. I don't know where it comes from, but I don't have to worry about it anymore. My part is to give. My part is to live in gratitude and trust and abundance by following Christ and listening and acknowledging God in everyone and in everything. And so I thank you. I love you. I honor you. I see the King in you.